I want a heart that forgives, a heart full of love, one with compassion just like you.
Hi and welcome to Transforming Lives Continually. I'm Michael Stewart and we have a wonderful program lined up for you today. We have two beautiful ladies in studio and they are going to be sharing in our discussion. We have Miss Sean Beans Daniel, and she is one of our co-hosts on this program, and you very well know. And then we have Miss Ria George, who is a media personality herself. And of course, we'll be discussing this wonderful topic. And the topic is, what do women want in men? Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
Good. So, we get into the obvious question. What do women really want in men?
Well, we discussed some time ago what we really want, and honestly, we don't know.
We don't have a clue.
You don't have a clue.
We don't know.
But
we know what we don't want.
So let's find out, first of all, what you don't want, and make that short. And then we go into the long one about what we do want. Probably if we find out what we don't want, then we'll be able to locate what we do want. What don't you want?
Lazy.
Abusive.
Disrespectful.
Yes.
Non-caring. The thing is, a lot of women complain that they want a man who is sensitive. Do we really want a man who is sensitive? I don't think so. We want somebody who can be there, a man who is a man, but still be able to say, if you bounce your toe, oh gosh, baby, come let me rub it for you. Ah, you bounce your toe. How are you looking so stressed? Come, oh gosh, my baby need a little hug up. Come. And that,
So you want a man to pamper you?
Yes, we want a man that will be there for us, and as you would have said sometime before, as women we always try to find a man that's like us, which is kind of unrealistic because we are female and they are male. But for me, a major thing for me, I don't want a man that is going to be abusive to me or disrespectful. Ria and I talk about this a lot, and I am a very romantic person. I don't want a man that will take that feeling I have and ignore it. That's a major issue for me.
or make it seem like a weakness.
Yes.
So we need to ask the question, what is defined as romantic?
And I was having a discussion with a man. He said, what is romantic? He said, but I love my wife. We have regular sex, I said, but that is
He's
not
missing the point.
You're so missing the point. And I'm thinking, for me.
So here's what we have.
Romance.
It is romance from his standpoint. If we say it is not romance, we are saying we have the authority to decide what romance is.
I think a man's perception of romance and a woman's perception of
Totally
romance are
different.
two different things.
And that is all it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just different.
Yes,
Yes.
it's just different. I might even be different with two women. Ria might say something is romantic and I might think that's not. For me, a simple thing as throughout the day, just giving me a call because we're not together and say, hi babes, how are you doing? I miss you.
Or text.
Bringing me, or text me.
A flower.
Something, bringing me a flower, not something from a flower shop,
No.
A wild flower.
Right.
Just because it's Tuesday.
You thought about me when you saw
bought
it.
a wild flower.
If
you really bought a
Not
wild
something
flower.
that will give you some itching or something.
No, let me tell you.
When you look at it in practical
Yes.
sense, if you really bought a wild flower,
Will you take it?
will a woman really appreciate that?
Yes.
I would appreciate
Yes.
that because you were thinking of me.
The thing is, you've got to deal with, men ought to deal with their wives according to knowledge. Deal with your spouse according to knowledge. Ria is not Sean. Sean is not Ria.
Right.
Lisa
So
is
therefore,
not
we're
Susan.
talking really for the masses out there.
Right.
And if the masses out there, the question is, will the average woman accept a wild flower from a guy? Wouldn't we refer to him as cheap?
No.
Not you.
Yes, here's
Not
the thing.
you.
No, here's the thing. I remember when my husband and I were friends. Still, we were studying in Trinidad. I hope my parents know that that's not why my grades were failing at that time. We were friends studying and stuff. And then I came back, I came to Tobago, and he was still in Trinidad. And he would write me sometimes 2 or 3 letters. Back then we didn't have cell phone and you couldn't BBM and all of that sort of craziness. There was no internet. it would be payphone. He'd stand there for half an hour putting quarters in to call me, or he would write. And he was going to John Deere at the time, and walking through area, Peter Avenue, somewhere there, he passed next to somebody's rose bush, and he picked a rose and he thought of me. He put that in a cassette case and put it in a brown envelope, called me to tell me he sent something for me. Now, the post office, Lower Scarborough on the mall, was there. I remember leaving
Just
work.
keep in mind, your husband is probably listening to this
Yes.
program.
I left work early that day. I was teaching, left work early that day to get to the post office. Mind you, by the time he called me, Thursday I didn't get the package, so I knew Friday, and after that I have to wait till Monday. I was by that post office before 4 o'clock, and I told them, there's a package here for me. They dug on, they said, but I said it's addressed to my father, but it's my name, and I need, it's important. And they searched and searched, and they found it. And I took that, and I sat on the little concrete benches on the mall, and I was in my glee. To me, romance,
So was it a rose or was it a bush?
It was a rose.
Right.
Yeah.
It was a rose, but it wasn't bought in a store.
No, we're not talking about that.
We're talking about whether he paid for it or didn't pay for it.
No, we're talking about a bush.
Bush is
That's where the
different. Bush-
discussion was.
She said a rose bush, but
No, the rose bush.
Rose.
We started off talking about will
Was
a
a
woman
wildflower.
appreciate
Wildflower.
a wildflower.
I consider it wild. It was not in a store.
Oh, anything that's not in the store is wild.
Why?
And I'm thinking every woman that's listening to this just said, oh, wow.
The mushy.
Yeah.
The
Well,
one
let me
thing
tell
is,
you a true story of a girl who got a ring. But she looked at the ring and felt, this is costume jewelry. I refused to wear it.
Well, it's where her values are.
This is what I'm
Yeah.
saying, that we need to recognize the masses out there may not hold our view. Because you all are well brought up, appreciative Christian ladies. But when we talk to the masses, they may not figure, I don't want no cheap man. If you're buying me something good, buy me something good because I'm worth it.
and I hear what you're saying, and like I said, there are those out there who will hold that view.
I wish,
But
by the
it
way, by the
also-
time, after about a year passed, she decided to just go and have it tested and realized it was a very expensive ring.
Again, it came
And it
it's
shocked
back
her.
to
How,
her,
yeah,
her
how,
values.
and her values.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I believe that women place their men under a lot of pressure to perform. And to me, my sister says, pick your stress, pick your battles. That ain't one for me.
Yeah.
And if that is one for you, fine, so be it. I guess he will adjust to you being so. But I figure the money could be spent otherwise.
Yeah.
Right.
And the
So
ring
is
not.
that the majority of women thinking you're now talking there, or are we talking about the minority?
I
But
don't
we
know.
don't know, because I'm coming back again to saying that there are different women with different concepts, different ideas of what romance
Look at the
is.
world. Look at the world, and look at how materialistic we are.
Yes.
And then answer the question. Whether-
Romance
I hear
is
that.
if you
Whether we
have
are-
to propose to me that you've got to invest a good $30,000 because you've got to get the helicopter or you've got to get a small plane with a banner flying across in the air with "Will you marry me?" The table setting has to be quite right. The wine has to be in place so that when the wine comes out with the ring in the glass, it's at the same time the plane is passing with the banner.
Yeah.
And I mean, because you're taking me out special that night, I have to get a new dress. My nails
New
have to be
shoes,
done, my
everything,
hair,
yeah.
my accessories, my jewelry, my purse. So you're talking about $30,000.
Yeah.
In-
Do you all
invested in
know of
romance
people
to
who are
propose?
living in sin, cohabitating, or engaging in illicit sex just because they can't afford a ring to get married?
Right. So
That is how materialistic we
And
are.
the emphasis is
and,
wrong.
and I was saying that we grew up with the storybook
Fairy
version
tale.
of what romance is. However, now we have The Bachelorette on television. So Hollywood and television and the media giving this generation of
A
young
whole
women a
different view.
whole different
That's
concept
right.
of what romance is.
My girlfriend
See?
said to me recently, she said, "Ria, I'm very honest with you, I want a man." I said, but you could get a man. You look good. You could get a man. She said, honey, I ain't want nothing cheap. He better be able to mind me. He had to be making about 6, 7, 8 figures.
There you go.
Yeah, okay, so she wants a man that's making all that money. What is she bringing to the table?
And that's the question.
That's
I think
the
too
question
many
I
of
want to
us
give
put
you,
our
yeah.
men under pressure to perform. And I'm not saying to accept mediocrity. I'm not saying that. That's a different thing. I'm saying here, let him be.
I'm sure that you all would have heard of the Proverbs 31 woman,
Yes.
the virtuous woman. There's a part that the Bible says that she does not force him to bring her spoils, goods,
Yes.
material
Yes.
things.
Yeah.
And you know, there are people come down hard that they must get this. Every new function they go to, they can't wear the
A
same
new dress,
clothes because
yeah.
the same people will be there, and so on. A lot of things dealing with more or less with spoils.
Right. But again, the men now, they have to know what type of woman am I looking for. You must know, you know, when you get with a woman, you must know, is she that materialistic?
Sometimes I get it by the wrong things. Sure.
Well, I agree. I
But the
agree.
program is on what women looking for.
Right, yes, the program is what women looking for. But I had to say that. I had to say that.
Yes,
that,
I
you know,
agree.
for a man, you have to know what type of woman am I looking for. But they get caught up in a lot of
No,
stuff.
but remember now, the average man settles for any good-looking woman. So don't depend on us, please. I'm going to tell you.
Their motives
Because
are...
of the swivel neck. It's
Because-
a
Right.
swivel neck.
Their motives are different.
So we, as a man, a good-looking woman is good enough. But a
Then she
woman,
opens her mouth and spoils everything.
well, even that we pay attention to overlook. You see, but a woman, she's the one that must make the call. She's the
Yes.
one that must determine who gets into her life and who doesn't, because she will have a lineup.
She needs
I
to
do
set the
agree.
standard.
That's right.
Yeah, I do agree. Even, let's look at young children or teenage girl or preteens. Say at a birthday party. As women, we really do set the pace, you know. When you look at children at a birthday party, if the girls get on wild and the boys fall in. But if the girls are very quiet and they're just sitting in a corner, the boys will sit in a corner line too, you know. I've observed that. So as women,
And that's true. We
really
take
do set the
cue
pace.
from the way
Yeah.
how women operate.
Yes, we do. So that's something that women really need to pay attention to.
We should set the trend, especially when it comes to what we do want in a man, because we know sometimes we know what we don't want. We may have an idea of what we're looking for, but sometimes we set the bar too high, and then we set it too low.
That's right. So therefore, what we should encourage women to do is to have some negotiables and some non-negotiables.
Yeah, sort of like when you're buying a house.
Yes.
You must have a wish list.
Yes.
That's right.
What you're willing to accept and what you're really not willing to accept.
Yes.
You may say, I can deal with the fact that he drives an old car. I can deal with the fact that he is shorter than I am. I can deal with the fact that he's darker than...
Thank you for making a point for us.
Short is not my thing. Thank you as well. Short.
It really has to do with balance.
Yes.
You know, it really has to do again with balance. But I think, you know, for a woman, you really have to know you. Know you as a person. And then when you know you and you figure you out, you can now say, well, yes, these are my criteria. This is what I'm looking for. You know, so know you as a woman. Figure you out first. I can't take women who say, oh, I want a man, I want a husband, and you are confused.
You confuse even God, because you
Yes.
tell God, Lord, I want a husband. I'm desperate for a husband. I want a man in my life. And God sends you one that he sees will be able to take you into old age. A man who will treat you like the queen, treat you like the woman, treat you the way that you deserve to be treated.
Yeah.
But he doesn't come in the right package for you.
Exactly.
He doesn't come in your preferred package.
Oftentimes, it comes outside of that package.
Thank you, Mike.
That dream person.
Yes.
You would speak to the average person who has been married a number of years and who living happy. This is not the dream person I had in mind. This is they don't carry the physical things, but the love is there.
Yes.
And that's why some people get into relationship. They say, I love my husband, but I'm not in love with him.
That's
Because
sad.
I don't have
That's-
the emotional connection.
That is sad.
Yeah.
So and people give up loving relationships for in-love relationships that has the emotional,
That
sexual
is
connection.
settling.
Yeah,
That is
I can
enduring.
relate. Yes, I can relate to what Michael said because in my own life, I had this concept, and I think it's because mommy would have said something or granny would have said. So you have this idea of what this man's supposed to be like.
You must sweep me off my feet and all these
Yeah,
songs that tell
you
us I can't breathe without you. And,
Right. But reality now, as you grow up, and for me, when I met my husband, we were friends for a lot of years before. I don't know how we transitioned. I always try to remember. But we were friends. But I always say, and baby, I know you're listening, so when God made Philip, he was thinking about me. You know, and that's honest. But I didn't think he would have come in that package.
That package,
you know,
that's
but
right.
Thank God he did because it worked for me. It's good for me.
I'll tell you, I'll be very honest with you. Height was my main thing. Height and the ability to make me laugh. You see stiff and starchy? Stay on the other side.
Yes,
Stay, don't come close to me.
But what if ability to make you laugh, all the other qualities of caring and all of that just ended up in a shorter package? Would you have refused him for a few inches?
I would have taken it because the thing is, the physical was not my main thing. I mean, yes, God knows, since I was 12, 13, I wanted height. The taller for me, the
You
better.
start thinking about boys early.
Secondary school, height was major for me. And you know, I came from my parents, my daddy short. My daddy short and red, and I wanted the total opposite. But in terms of the mannerism, that's why I said the package wasn't everything for me. But the personality, I know the individual that I am, and the personality mattered more than anything. It didn't matter when I was getting married. I didn't want an engagement ring. I didn't want a big wedding. I wanted 20 people. My parents said over their dead body. No way we were gonna have that. I didn't want the frills. We wanted to get married. We didn't have enough money for a honeymoon. We decided we wouldn't go on one. We just wanted to go because wherever we went would have been honeymoon. Everything was still brand new off the showroom rack.
Yeah, it's like
right?
Air Force One, whatever the president is on becomes Air Force One.
Right? So that is how it was for us. The importance was not on what we wore and the decor. It wasn't that.
But
it was on living thereafter.
What we end up with is understanding that when two people meet, they are really in a marketplace trading.
Yes.
And so I am bringing, you find that a mature man would bring his maturity, his financial stability to the marketplace to trade with a young girl who has beauty and finesse. And so therefore, once the people see what each other willing to trade, that's what determines that you get into the relationship. Some people want to trade finance, some people want to trade nationality. You see, so we have all kinds of things that we trade. In the end, we've got to figure out whether the trade was a good trade.
There are a lot of things that will wither, a lot of things that will pass. But what you need to trade. Look at what is going to remain when everything else falls by the wayside.
Yeah.
Right. Do a woman trade in that way? Are they really looking for the content, or are they looking at the container?
I think, as Ria was saying, you got married when you were young.
21.
Right, I got married in my 30s. So for me, I was already settled and looking for. Honestly, I didn't want to get married, you know. I've been honest. I truly honest. You see how you talk about.
I wanted to get married since I was 16.
You see what I'm talking about?
I tell you have some issues, girl.
She's talking.
I was ready for that family. I was ready to settle. I was
didn't
in that
want
mode.
that. I'm just the total opposite. I would say I'm good all by myself. I have a job.
Is physical a major thing for you?
Then yes.
Is physical a major thing
No.
for you? It's not.
No.
Physical is a major thing for me. I liked tall and buff. You know,
Right.
that was
When I met my husband, he was very skinny, and
My husband
to
too.
me
But
that
he was taller.
He was tall, and I thank God for that.
Right.
You know, I always had it in my mind that dream
Would
of
you have
of rapid
noticed
hands,
him
of
if he was not
like this.
taller?
Would I have?
no.
Would you have noticed him if he was shorter than you?
Yeah, what caused me to turn my back on him the first time that I met him was because of who introduced us. I didn't look at the height or anything, it was just who introduced us, and I knew that if he were a friend of that person, I didn't want to be his friend, so it was that, but it wasn't directly the height.
Right.
But
now, here's what I find, yeah? That you know, sometimes we did this survey and we asked women, what is it you look for in men? And all the women, number one, you must fear God. And all the other things came after. And we asked these 15 or 16 women, do you have a boyfriend? Do you have a husband? Yes. Is he God-fearing? Not one of them. No. So we say one thing. In reality, we don't. So people who say, physical not for me, once he has a good character and so on, and then you ask them, if he had one eye,
would I?
If he had polio, would you have married him?
Or scars.
That's right. And then it becomes a different question. You see? So physical, we say, because it is nice and politically correct.
I have to agree with you there. I have to agree with you.
Physical is very important. I don't care what anybody says. Physical is very important. Everybody look for something, you know, in a guy that, oh yes. You might even see a movie star and you're thinking, I want whoever to look like that. So physical is very important.
Why do you think the industry makes so much money off of physical and makeup and clothing and hair and all of that?
Because it is important.
The problem is the world has made it important. And we have gone that route. And there are good relationships that people can enter into with some people who have one eye, a short leg and a tall leg, a long leg. People who are physically, and we refuse to get into those good relationships because we've sold a bag of goods by the world, and we bought it wholesale.
But you don't think too that has a lot to do with maturity on the part of the woman or the man?
But that's where we're sadly lacking.
Yeah, it has
sadly
a lot
lacking.
to do
That's
with
why
maturity.
you find a man would refuse a wife who has gotten fat because he's still hooked into the physical and not understanding
and he can't get
character.
Character. That she bore you 7, 8 children, and because of that, her body would change.
That's right.
I think they need to be
and leave.
And their bodies change too. I don't get tired for that.
And people leave good relationships to go after this thing about physical, and then find out that they're still not happy. They're happy for a short period of time. But for somebody who's there to care for you through thick and thin, for rich, for poor, for better, for worse, the person may not be willing to do that.
But initially, there must be some physical something that
draws
you to that person. You're not knowing about that person's character when
you meet them
for the first time. So there must be something.
Oftentimes, I find, if that is the first thing that strikes you, it is the first thing that goes after. Because whatever drew you is what is going to hold you, and it will hold you as long as it lasts. If the person, because of the person's personality and their character, that it held you, and their mannerism and their integrity held you, the chances are you would only fall out of love with that person when that goes, and that tends not to go because it is part of them. But their long hair will go.
Yes, I agree with that. But what I'm saying is that when you meet somebody for the first time, maybe you never spoke to that person, but something that attracts you to that person. However, sometimes it may be so disappointing and you wish that person never opened up their mouth. They never really approach you and just live with the fantasy, oh, I like this person. You know, but that physical, something about that person could be the eyes, oh, I love this person's eyes.
Oh, and even more,
and then you get to know the person.
The person's presence when they walk into a room. You know, the confidence says a lot. And you can tell a lot by a person, about a person when he or she walks into a door. You have the, God, I know this is not going to go very well. Look, and you see it on them. You see it on they wear it on themselves, and then you see the, I have arrived. Hi, everybody. You know, I'm ready to meet everybody. There's a difference, and you see the confidence in some people that actually draws you.
Well, you know, that is something that we should really explore. The physical signals. But if that is the one that attracts, The question is, will that hold? You know, we see, you see a guy walks into a room and you hear girls say, oh, gosh, I might look good. Will that relationship last?
But it's amazing as you say that, because she might say, oh God, she look good, and I would say, yeah, look good, but there's something about him that just turns me off, you know. So
because love, I think love comes from knowledge.
Yes.
And knowledge comes from getting time to know the person.
To know the person.
And then you choose.
So we come up with the next question now. Is there such a thing as where you fall in love almost instantly?
No.
And the soulmate
no.
is you and so on?
You can't, to me, things like the term soulmate, you cannot know that this person is your soulmate when you meet them for the first time.
No.
So do women know what they want?
We figure it out along the way.
We do. We know what we don't want.
But we know what we don't
but
want.
we learn along the way.
Yeah,
and then we chipped, the same way you mentioned earlier, that it's a training, it's a bargaining. And we train and we chip, just as our men train and chip away at the sides or trim the edges of what they don't want. And we groom and we,
Yeah.
You've seen the one that they put online where you go to the first floor and you say this is the sort of men that in the first floor, and if you want more, go to the second floor.
Never satisfied.
Right, and then they go to the third floor, and if you want more until she got up to probably, let's say, the 9th floor, and they say if you want more, go to the 10th floor, and the 10th floor says nobody's here. Right, because
they don't fit nobody to fit your criteria.
Yes, because we always want a greater man, a greater woman, and so probably what we need to start doing is start settling for what we have. Is it?
I'm settled.
I don't like the word settle.
No, I know
something about that makes me feel as if, well, I can't
get anything better.
I can't get anything better, so because
will you get anything
content.
better?
I think I deserve the best.
Well, this way settling is contentment. I'm content.
But
with
yes,
what I
if you put it in that way, but when you said, it's like when we use that word today, it's like we say, well,
I give up in hopeless.
This is it for me.
It can't change, but
it can't change, especially a lot of professional women. They in their 40s and 50s, and now you will hear people say, well, I settle in for this. But I know you didn't mean it in that context.
You contented with what you have while you work on it.
Women need to prioritize, pick their battles, and know what.
Again, know who you are, know what you want. What you.
We have the wrap-up signals. 1 minute each, or less than that.
Women need to know what they want. Stop being picky and choosy. If you believe in God for a spouse, a man in your life, God is going to open the door. When he walks in, just be prepared to accept who God sends, and don't be picky and choosy.
Yes. And if you've been really, as we say, praying for a spouse, know that God is preparing you. So you need to learn those lessons that God is teaching you. So when he sends that man into your life, you'll be a blessing to him.
Well, there you heard it, ladies and gentlemen, all viewers on Transforming Lives Continually. You heard it from Rhea George and Sean Beans Daniel. I'm Michael Stewart. We enjoyed this program. We hope to see you on the next program when we have another interesting topic. If you wish, you can email us at michaelatstewarttlc@gmail.com or call the office at 635-1801. We do private counseling, and we also do group sessions and motivational sessions for you. Have a wonderful day.
I want a heart that forgives, a heart full of love, one with compassion just like yours.